Welcome to another edition of SportFit Hub. Today we are going to talk about the online training platforms that are out there and rapidly increasing in their capabilities due to the demand of home training currently happening. I think it's somewhat ironic that we are talking about this because I think it's safe to say that out of all the cyclists out there, we're probably have been more content with just being in a room with the bike trainer and our numbers, and haven't been so much into jumping onto some of these platforms in the past. But having started to mess around now and experiencing some of the, I guess, the fun aspects, the social aspects now with it, I must admit I'm, I guess, becoming a little bit of a online platform follower myself. How about yourself?
Yeah, I'd have to say I'm a recent convert. As you well know, for years, I was just happy, like you said, to be old school cyclist that was in the basement with my trainer, maybe a bit of music and my training program. And I was good. Didn't need any forms of entertainment to keep me riding. But I recently am a convert to some of these online training platforms for sure.
It took a while, and we still have one more of us, old CW, that will take some converting, but we'll have to keep working on him. But just to provide a little information to everybody, now there's really a lot of options out there. So I thought we'd probably just target the three that you most likely hear about currently, and they really seem to be, I think, the three that are really having their own little arms race with this, and every week coming out with another new incredible upgrade. So thought we'd talk about TrainerRoad, Zwift, and Sufferfest. Each have similarities and each offer some slightly different variations as well, catering, I guess, to different, I don't know, I guess you'd say personalities, training habits, all that stuff. So let's start with TrainerRoad. Have you tried that, or what have you seen with that?
Yeah, TrainerRoad seems to be probably the most, what would I say, traditional platform for, I would say, road cyclists that want sort of, it's all about the numbers. It's not as entertaining as some of the other platforms. It really is a numbers game. It's a great platform to train on, but you're less entertained. It's not a game sort of situation. It's really about having the maximum amount of training plans or things that you can follow if you need some help with your training. It's no match or it's no replacement for a guy like Kevin Masters, but there are some good plans on there, and you can do as much result as you want. But TrainerRoad really seems to be more positioned around the person who says, I want to train, I don't need to be entertained, I'm not into gaming, show me the goods.
Oh, caught me mid-drink. Yeah, I would tend to agree with that as well. They, much like the other ones, they do have quite a comprehensive set of training plans for people, developed by some smart people, some real coaches, and they've put a lot of time into it. But visually not as stimulating. The screen basically is just sort of the diagram of your workout. But what they have done, I guess, in terms of keeping up with what we're in the middle of now, is they have added a group feature where you can have 5 riders, and they're working up to 11. I don't know why 11 is the special number, but where you can actually do a workout together and be there with your 10 or 11 other ride buddies, seeing them video-wise as well as audio-wise. So an interesting feature, and one that does cater to our need of some socialization. What about, I guess, let's hit Sufferfest. What do you know about that?
Sufferfest, the name says it all. It is about suffering. That was one of my favorites over the past few years, just in that I really liked the idea that I was watching a video on the screen. So it wasn't animation or anything like that. It was an actual video. It's like you're right in an actual bike race. And while I'm not one for cheerleading while I ride so much, the sort of the way they talked on the video was a bit motivating. It wasn't over the top, but it was kind of fun, and was, you could tell the people who'd put it together were really true cyclists and were probably competitive cyclists, or were at some point. So yeah, I like the Sufferfest workouts. They're incredibly hard. It is all about getting the job done, and putting you through some serious pain and suffering during your training, but it's also entertaining at the same time in a different way. It's not as interactive. You're not watching yourself ride up a mountain or sprint down the road, but it's like you're in the middle of a peloton or a pack. And it's, like I said, it's a real video of some of the classic races that superbike nerds will have followed over the years. And so I really like that aspect of it. It's as hard as you want it to be, and then harder, but you're actually seeing real-time video, and it's like you're in a race, and it's motivational without being cheesy. So I like Sufferfest.
Yeah, they and with today's technology with cameras and such and GoPros on the bikes, the footage they have attained is really incredible. You really do feel like you're right in the middle of the peloton there during some of those intense moments. So yeah, if you're someone that in the old days would pull up some old footage and turn your pedals to that and be motivated by that, this is definitely for you. The workouts are created by Neil Henderson, who is a USA track cycling coach. So again, programming done by a real smart, experienced coach. And while riding, like all these platforms, all your metrics are there for you. Your power, your cadence, and heart rate, etc. The Sufferfest tends to take you through, I guess you'd call it a story. Sometimes while you're watching these videos, you're in there and it's telling you to slow down, speed up, chase someone, do this, do that. And so that part kind of, I guess, is good in terms of, imaginary dreams that we all have, right?
Well, my imaginary dreams are to be like cycling Glitterati, like yourself. And so I haven't had the chance to go to some of these cool cycling destinations like you have.
All
And
right.
so I now imagine I've actually been there. I can talk about the cafe I saw at the side of the road, or, this one part of the road where it changes, but I've never actually been these places, unlike yourself. So it's pretty cool that you can actually know where some of the iconic cycling climbs are in the world and know what they actually look like, even though you're a lowly bike shop guy in Edmonton and you don't get to go to these places.
Oh, sob. This is where I'm supposed to be ready to cue the violin. The third platform is when we jumped on last Sunday, and not super experienced with it, but the kind of the ride and the day and the experience unfolded. It was just simply a lot of fun. We added an audio feature through the Discord app, and the group grew, and yeah, it was something I didn't expect, something I didn't think I needed, but I enjoyed it. It was nice chatting with everybody. What have you seen or experienced on Zwift so far?
Yeah, I'm fairly new to Zwift like yourself. I was a holdout, thinking I didn't need to do it. I'm fine just doing my workouts in my dark basement by myself. And I really did have my eyes open. I can see why it's so popular now. You can be an absolute newbie to cycling, never mind online training. You can be a newbie to cycling and enjoy yourself just by riding around in the virtual worlds, making friends with people from all over the world. There's training plans to get you started if you're not really sure what you should be doing while you're riding. There's lots of choice there, not quite as much as TrainerRoad, but there are some plans in there. I realized that the plan that you do for me, Kevin, I can now upload that into Zwift, and I can do my Kevin Masters training program while I'm on Zwift, which is just super convenient while being slightly entertaining because I am riding in a virtual world and I see other people I know while I'm there. So yeah, it's incredible how much you can do with Zwift and how entertaining it can be. I understand that some people are not going to like the distraction of the entertainment side of it, but other people are really going to be motivated by that. It's not as boring. What I talked to somebody about is they said that what you're seeing on the screen is relative to what you're doing, therefore it has a bigger impact. Unlike watching a hockey game or a movie while you're riding on your bike in the trainer, that has no relevance to the actual riding. This actually has relevance to the riding. You pedal faster, things happen faster on the screen. or like you said, you can do a group ride where you're interacting with other people. And for us, it was interacting with people in our city that we normally ride with. But you can be riding with someone that you just met in Japan. Like I had a guy after that ride, friend me from Costa Rica. And so now I can meet up with a guy from Costa Rica and go for a ride. I'm not really sure why I'd want to, but I can do that if I want. So there's lots of cool aspects to Zwift that maybe you didn't even know existed until you get on there.
Yeah, and I would concur with that in terms of things just not realizing what all was offered there. Initially, I guess I thought, excuse me, I thought of it as more or less riding around in a cartoon world. I mean, you do get to ride it like you would outside in terms of, the road goes up, the road goes down, you go faster, you go slower. You do have drafting features, so I guess that maybe puts a little real life component to it. There are different worlds, as you say, so there's different courses. So you can go on there and basically free ride, so to speak. But as you mentioned, there are a lot of workouts built on there, so you can also pick the workout function. And you can also, as you mentioned too, if you're coached by somebody, those workouts upload very easily onto there. I know I use Training Peaks, so I know it works from that. As long as it's in the athlete's calendar, it'll show up in the Zwift workouts under Training Peaks custom plans. So really easy that way. You can sort of have the best of both worlds. And then, like I said, we created a meetup, which is another function now of Zwift, where we can pick all our friends and create a ride, and we can select no drop. So no matter the level of anybody, how hard they want to work, how hard they don't want to work, everyone stays together on there in a group throughout the ride. And with our audio function, we had a lot of banter, and some of us haven't even talked to each other even before this whole thing started. So it was catching up with friends from way back for some of us. So yeah, it was a good, it made 90 minutes go by super fast.
Yeah, I thought being a technologically fairly inept person myself, it's not hard to figure this out. A little bit of, kind of figuring things out on different apps and connecting and making sure you've got your audio turned on or different angles to the screen and things like that. But really, for the most part, these are pretty easy things to figure out. We had, about 15 or 20 people on that ride, most of which had never been on a Zwift group ride before. Most of us had never used the app Discord so we could chat. And within minutes, we were pretty much all riding and talking. And I thought it worked pretty awesome without a lot of hassle.
Yeah. Myself too. Usually there's glitches that go wrong, and it takes me multiple attempts. But hooking up to Zwift is just bringing your computer within the vicinity of the trainer and the Discord with a couple pointers from one of our good friends, Brendan, got on there fairly easily as well. Just quick here, all this sounds super fancy and potentially expensive. In order to ride these, I know we had a trainer session. We talked about smart trainers, and yes, they will, interact with the platform so that we feel the hills. Or if you're doing a workout, you can go erg mode, where you just pedal, and if you're supposed to go hard, it makes sure you go hard. But it doesn't have to be that way. You don't have to have a fancy trainer. You can simply join up on the ride with your bike, and the cheapest trainer you can find, simply by adding a speed sensor to your rear hub. Have you looked into that at all?
Yeah, speed sensors are easy to come by these days. They're not overly expensive in the world of expensive trainer bits and pieces. About $60 gets you accelerometer for your rear hub. So basically it looks like almost like a Fitbit for your rear hub on your bike. You attach that, you connect it via Bluetooth or Ant Plus to whatever platform you're using, and boom, away you go. So now you don't have the smart feature on your trainer, but the platform, let's say Zwift or TrainerRoad or Sufferfest, would know how fast you're going and will allow you to play along. You might not get some of the features that are pretty cool to some of these training platforms, but you can certainly participate. You can get in the game, and it's a pretty low cost to see if you're going to enjoy it before you invest all the money. So the speed sensors that go on the rear hub, they'll fit on any bike. They're easy to find. You can buy it as just an alone piece. It comes with some GPS units as a package or a bundle. You'll see if you're purchasing one, or you can buy it also just as the speed sensor for the hub, and then another one that almost looks the exact same for your crank arm, which is cadence, and that helps make things more accurate. Now it's checking to see how your revolutions per minute are, plus how fast the wheel is spinning, and you can get in the game, and you're in for between $60 to $100 for those sensors.
Yeah, I know a few people on our ride on Sunday had those, and they sounded like they were having equally as much fun. In some regards, it might make it more real because they don't get the erg function. So, like on the road, if you want to go fast up the hill, you need to manipulate your own gears and make it happen yourself. So, maybe some good to come from that too.
Yeah, the other thing that we get questions for in the shop all the time are, I've got a Garmin head unit, but I seem to not be able to find the Garmin speed sensors. They're sold out everywhere. You don't need to have the same brand of speed sensor or cadence sensor as whatever head unit you're using. You can have a different brand from Brighton or Wahoo or whoever, as long as they're Ant Plus or Bluetooth. Usually these days they're both. That way they'll connect to everything. You don't have to worry about finding the exact brand. You can just grab whatever ones that are available, or you can even shop around and find out which ones are least expensive, and they'll work and they're interactive with any of the platforms.
All right. Well, maybe we'll just send off here by letting anyone who's interested know we're going to go with another Sunday ride this Sunday. We're going to go at 9:10. It was suggested to stay off the hour. It's less congested. We actually started last week in the middle of the Ineos ride. So it was quite busy. Turns out they're a pretty popular group, a little popular than ours, but we're growing. What was cool to see, and just for people who aren't familiar with just how big this is, at the time we were riding, there was 17,000 other people also riding on Zwift. Now we didn't see them all, obviously. There's different worlds and routes and stuff, but it just goes to show, how popular it is and what people are needing to do here to keep themselves fit and busy while we're in this isolation.
Before I sign off, Kevin, I thought I would maybe share a conversation that I had with someone yesterday about indoor training and doing some of these platforms and programs. We talked about how sometimes we forget to drink and eat while we're doing these indoor programs because you're in the comfort of your own home. It's not like when you go for a ride and you get everything together, your spare tube, your pump, and all that kind of stuff. So if people out there are getting into these platforms and indoor training sessions, make sure you're drinking enough. I really noticed on my Zwift avatar, he was drinking constantly. So somehow it must know how much I actually sweat. So he was drinking constantly. Eating properly is still a thing. Just because you're not outside and you're riding indoors, eating properly is still a thing. So make sure you're getting the proper nutrition. But other things like making sure to stand up on the bike and stretch and kind of move around a little bit on the bike, because unlike outdoor riding, when you're on these indoor trainers, we're static, we're seated the whole time, and that can create some lower back issues or some soreness that you wouldn't normally get riding outside, because outside you stand up, sit down, every once in a while you stop, you coast, that sort of thing. So don't forget to drink, to maybe have some nutrition food with you while you're riding or before you ride, and make sure you move around a little bit on your bike so you don't get sore from your ride.
Yeah, no, all good, extremely good points. I bang on. I will put a water bottle on my bike, and lo and behold, when I finish the ride, it's still full. But I'm pretty sweaty. Something else that helps with that too is if you just find a cheap fan, that'll help keep you cool as well. So with that, if anyone wants to join Chris and myself on Sunday, this is the great part. You actually have to follow me on the companion app of Zwift. So you'll have to download on your phone. You follow me and I'm able to invite you into the group ride, into the meetup ride. So yeah, that's been great for me. I'm getting a large amount of friends, some of which I don't know, but I'm feeling pretty special and popular right now. But any questions with that, if you get stuck, just email kevin@aerobicpower.com, and we'd love to have you join us on Sunday. Until then, take care, stay safe and healthy, and thanks for watching. Thanks, Chris.
Thanks, Kevin.